speech.
Yeah.
And freedom of speech only is relevant when people you don't like say things you don't like. Otherwise, it has no meaning.
Today, Musk now
In the swirling chaos of 2025, where public discourse feels like a high-stakes courtroom drama, the principle of free speech stands at the center of a heated controversy. The idea that free speech only matters when it protects the voices you disagree with, those saying things that make your skin crawl, has never felt more relevant. Without that tension, the concept loses its weight, becoming a hollow platitude. Today, this principle is being tested in a very public, very messy way as Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur, has ignited a legal firestorm that's shaking the media landscape. The target? Whoopi Goldberg, a daytime television icon, and her platform, The View. What started as a fiery on-air rant has spiraled into an $80 million defamation lawsuit, FBI involvement, and Goldberg's sudden, mysterious departure from the United States. This isn't just another celebrity scandal. It's a clash of ideals, power, and accountability that could reshape how media figures navigate the line between free expression and reckless commentary. The saga began on a typical episode of The View, a show known for its unfiltered debates and diverse guest roster. Goldberg, seated at the center of the panel with her characteristic confidence, launched into a tirade that would soon prove costly. Her target was Musk, a figure she's openly criticized before. This time, however, she didn't just question his business ventures or public persona. She suggested, with no evidence, that Musk and Senator J.D. Vance were conspiring to seize control of the government should Donald Trump be removed from office. Her words were bold, delivered with a kind of conviction that fills a studio with gasps and murmurs. She mused aloud, questioning who was really in charge, even jokingly referring to Musk as the president or vice president while dismissing Vance's relevance. The panel chuckled, the audience reacted, and the segment moved on, or so it seemed. But Goldberg's comments weren't just another hot take. They struck a nerve, particularly with Musk, who has faced intense scrutiny over his influence in politics and media. Rather than brushing it off with a tweet or a meme, as he's often done in the past, Musk took a different approach. He assembled a legal team and filed a defamation lawsuit against Goldberg and The View, seeking $80 million in damages. The complaint was scathing, accusing Goldberg of spreading intentional misinformation, engaging in malicious defamation, and deliberately mischaracterizing Musk's intentions. The lawsuit argued that her remarks weren't just careless, they were calculated to tarnish Musk's reputation and incite public distrust. For a man whose companies rely on public perception and government contracts, the stakes were high. The lawsuit alone would have been enough to dominate headlines, but the plot thickened when reports surfaced that the FBI was investigating Goldberg's comments. According to sources close to the case, federal authorities began examining whether her on-air remarks could be interpreted as inciting unrest or suggesting harm toward elected officials. One particular moment stood out, a seemingly offhand joke about staying away from stairways to avoid being tripped. In the context of her broader claims about a government takeover, the comment took on a darker tone. Federal investigators reportedly started reviewing broadcast transcripts, video footage, and social media reactions to determine if Goldberg's words crossed a legal line beyond defamation, potentially into territory that could carry serious consequences. As news of the FBI's involvement broke, the story took an even more dramatic turn. Goldberg, who had been a fixture on The View for years, vanished. There was no announcement, no scheduled leave, no remote appearance to explain her absence. Sources close to the show claimed she left the country abruptly, just days after the federal probe became public. Some speculated she was in Europe, others said she'd gone completely off the grid. What was clear was that her departure wasn't a planned vacation. Insiders described her as feeling cornered, overwhelmed by the legal and public backlash. The combination of Musk's lawsuit, the FBI scrutiny, and the media frenzy was too much. Her absence left ABC, the network behind The View, scrambling to manage the fallout. Social media erupted as news of Goldberg's exit spread. Hashtags like #CancelView, Support Elon, and FLEES trended within hours. Critics pounced, framing her departure as an admission of guilt. One viral post questioned, "If you did nothing wrong, why are you running?" Another pointed to past controversies, accusing Goldberg of mocking Musk's family, and now facing the consequences of her words. Supporters of Musk argued that she had finally been held accountable for years of reckless commentary. Meanwhile, her defenders pushed back, insisting she was being unfairly targeted for exercising free speech. The debate raged online, with millions weighing in on whether Goldberg's remarks were protected expression or dangerous misinformation. At its core, this controversy is about more than one television host or one lawsuit. It's about the boundaries of free speech in an era where words can spark instant outrage, legal battles, and even federal investigations. The principle that free speech only matters when it protects unpopular voices is being tested in real time. Musk, a vocal advocate for unrestricted discourse, has long argued that free speech is meaningless unless it includes those you dislike saying things you find offensive. Yet, his decision to sue Goldberg raises questions about where the line is drawn. Is it acceptable to sue for defamation when someone makes baseless claims on a public platform? Or does that risk chilling free expression, particularly for media figures who thrive on provocative commentary? Goldberg's remarks, while inflammatory, were delivered in the context of a show known for its opinionated discussions. The View has hosted a wide range of voices, from political figures to cultural critics, often sparking heated debates. Goldberg's style, blunt, unapologetic, and sometimes polarizing, has been a hallmark of her tenure. But in this case, her words carried weight beyond the studio. By suggesting a conspiracy involving Musk and Vance, she tapped into broader anxieties about power, influence, and the role of billionaires in politics. Her comments resonated with some viewers who share those concerns, but they also provided ammunition for Musk's legal team, who argued that her platform amplified the harm. The FBI's involvement adds another layer of complexity. While defamation lawsuits are civil matters, the suggestion that Goldberg's words could incite unrest or imply harm toward officials elevates the case to a federal level. Her stairway comment, though likely intended as a joke, underscores the challenges of navigating humor in a polarized climate. What might have been dismissed as hyperbole a decade ago can now be scrutinized as a potential threat, especially when broadcast to millions. The investigation highlights the growing tension between free speech and public safety as authorities grapple with how to regulate speech that toes the line between opinion and incitement. For ABC, the situation is a nightmare. The View has faced controversies before, but none quite like this. Goldberg's abrupt departure has left the show's future uncertain, with producers reportedly considering everything from temporary suspensions to permanent changes. Advertisers, wary of the backlash, are pulling back and viewers are divided. Some are calling for the show's cancellation, arguing that it's become a platform for unchecked misinformation. Others defend it as a space for open dialogue, flaws and all. Behind closed doors, ABC's legal team is said to be exploring a settlement with Musk's camp, hoping to avoid a protracted court battle. But with federal authorities involved, a quiet resolution may be out of reach. The broader implications of this saga extend far beyond The View. It's a moment that forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about accountability in media. Should public figures like Goldberg be free to say whatever they want, regardless of the consequences? Or do they bear a responsibility to temper their words, knowing the influence they wield? Musk's lawsuit argues the latter, asserting that reckless commentary can cause real harm. Yet his critics point out the irony of a free speech advocate using legal action to silence a detractor. The tension between these perspectives underscores the delicate balance of free expression in a democratic society. This isn't the first time The View has courted controversy, nor is it the first time Musk has clashed with critics. The show has weathered storms over political comments, guest appearances, and internal disputes. Musk, meanwhile, has faced accusations of everything from market manipulation to spreading misinformation himself. Both Goldberg and Musk are lightning rods, figures who thrive on attention but also attract intense scrutiny. Their collision feels almost inevitable, a product of a media landscape where every word can be weaponized. As the legal battle unfolds, the public is left to ponder what comes next. Will Goldberg return to face the consequences, or will she remain abroad, hoping the storm passes? Will Musk's lawsuit set a precedent for how defamation cases are handled in the media? And what does this mean for The View, a show that's been a staple of daytime television for decades? The answers are unclear, but one thing is certain: this moment has already changed the conversation. It's a reminder that free speech, while sacred, comes with responsibilities, and that the line between expression and harm is thinner than ever. In the end, this is more than a celebrity feud or a legal dispute. It's a snapshot of a society grappling with the limits of discourse, the power of media, and the consequences of words. Whether Goldberg's career survives, whether Musk's lawsuit succeeds, or whether The View continues, the questions raised by this controversy will linger. Free speech only matters when it's tested, and right now, that test is playing out on a national stage. The world is watching, and the outcome will shape how we navigate the messy, vital terrain of public dialogue for years to come.